I'm so excited. We are not only the first session of India Voice Fest 2021,
Yeah.
but it's an all-star women panel.
Yay! Love it.
It is my pride and joy to be hosting this, and thank you so much, all you stars, for being here with me today. I hope not only do we have a very informative discussion, but a really crackling one.
Yes.
So, welcome all of you. I know you guys don't need too much of an introduction, but I'm going to do it anyway because this is an online event and we may have a lot of new attendees who may not really know the voicing fraternity and the voice industry as well as all of us do. So, I'll make the introductions as quickly as possible. I'll start with Ashwini, our dear guest here from Netflix. She heads production and is country manager for Netflix with the International Dubbing Group. She's been an experienced localization leader, creative producer, and interviewer. She's been part of the creative team of iconic shows like Chota Bheem, Role Number 21, dubbing of Ben 10, Augie and the Cockroaches, and several other cartoon shows for Cartoon Network and Pogo, which is where we met for the first time. And then she went on to lead localization efforts at Amazon Prime Video, with shows like Inside Edge, Mirzapur, Made in Heaven, etc. And more recently, you may have seen her as the face of IMDb. IMDb heading editorial and collaboration for the brand. So she used to, yeah. So pretty much working on similar content, but from a different angle. And now with her new role at Netflix, I think this is a new phase in her dubbing journey completely. And I'm not going to talk about the shows that she's been working on because I think that's a very integral part of our discussion. So I'm going to leave it there. But Ashwini, one of the things that we were talking about, and I think is very interesting that came from one of our conversations, is that your professional goal is to normalize watching dubbed content. Now, this is really interesting for me because this has been a personal goal forever. I want to know more about this. Why do you feel this is so necessary? And what do
Thank
you
you
mean
so
by
much, Mona. Thank you so much for that introduction, first of all. It's good to hear the entire trajectory all over again. And I'm so happy. I think, first of all, I just want to congratulate everyone who's taken this initiative. I think it's such an important initiative to bring everybody who's passionate about dubbing together. And to your question, I think we at Netflix believe that good stories, great stories can come from anywhere, and have also want to be watched everywhere in the world. And today, more than ever, dubbing plays such an important role in it. And so many of you in the virtual room today, I'm sure, have contributed over years to bring this dubbing industry and fraternity to where it is today. So, when I said that I would like to normalize watching dubs, that's the small effort that I'd like to kind of contribute to, where people are not really thinking about, oh, I'm watching a dub show. They're just thinking about, yeah, I'm watching this show in a particular language or a language of my choice. So yeah, I think that's the vision, that's the goal, and I know that everybody in this room is on the same path, doing their bit. So happy to be here.
absolutely? Absolutely. Thank you for that. And thank you for joining us. Very kind of you. Not many, I know this for a fact because we've been trying this over the years. And not many people on the client side are always very forthcoming and willing to join us at India Voice Fest and speak publicly about, their efforts and their initiatives, etc. So thank you. And a big thank you to Netflix. Um, Now I will move on to my dear, dear, dear sweetheart and friend Rajshri Sharma. I mean, I was thinking of how to introduce you, and almost everything I want to say about you sounds like I'm talking about myself. You know, so everything right from the the beginning, you started at age 5, and to the fact that your mother was already in the advertising industry as a leading copywriter and language supervisor. And she brought you to the studios and she introduced you to this world, and accidentally you fell into it. I mean, all of us have I mean, that was part of our babysitting days, right? That's how the mothers babysat us, right? They took us to they,
The studio.
they took us to the studios. That's the babysitting. Everybody, the sound engineers, the other artists, the directors, the producers, everybody has babysat us. That's how we learned what we learned. So I think every single thing I say about you is just making me so emotional. It's emotional and funny in equal measure, in the sense that it's so similar, everything we've been through, right from your advertising days, from your childhood. You've been doing like voicing, I think, in every language conceivable, every Indian language for sure: English, Nepali, French. So every language possible, radio plays, ad films, documentaries. And then, when you associated with my mom, you started dubbing for like super cute characters like Sinbad the Sailor and little Tim from Jurassic Park. So yeah, so you've had a very, very, very illustrious career as a voice actor. And now to have moved on to the other side, where you're actually running the production of dubbed content. I mean, can we be any more similar? so so I don't
Thank
know
you
how
so,
much more I
so
should
much.
go on
Thank you so much.
introducing
It's an
you,
absolute honor.
but I mean, I think pretty much everyone in the voice industry and the voice fraternity knows about this, but this is specifically for the newcomers. That yes, Rajshri has been there and done that, and now she's here to tell stories differently. So, tell us about your thoughts on breaking barriers through dubbing.
Well, so thank you very much for this awesome, awesome introduction. Thank you so much. It's an absolute honor to have been introduced by someone like you. Thank you so much. And I'm glad to be here today on this panel with all these beautiful people. Ashwini, I know her also since quite some time now. And of course, Manini, wonderful actor. Hello, everyone. And thank you, everyone who's watching the show. Uh, yes, about breaking barriers. Dubbing is such a wonderful thing. I mean, you get to watch almost all content around in the world in the language of your choice, as Ashwini said. So it's wonderful to be a part of this storytelling industry where we retell stories in our own way, in our own language, in a way that people can understand, in a way that people can connect to the stories. So earlier we had, when dubbing wasn't around, of course, there was content always being produced, great content being dubbed, being produced, being shown on TV. But then, yes, we missed out on a lot of things. But thanks to now all these OTT platforms that are here, that have brought amazing, amazing content to every corner here. We can dub them in various languages and you can watch them in a language of your choice. Not only that, it's also simplified in the way the audience can connect to it. For example, when we do something in India for a particular language, for Hindi or Tamil or Telugu or Malayalam, we try to localize content so that people can easily connect to a proverb, a phrase, or something that is being said in another language, but not very easily understood here. So I think that is the art that dubbing brings with it. And thanks to all associated with the field, thank you for making this work.
Thanks, Raju. Thanks for being here with us. And we will talk more exactly about that, the art and science of dubbing, right? So that's it's beautiful that you talk about the art, because that brings me to the artist. So Manini De Madam needs no introduction whatsoever. Absolutely known face, actor with more than 65 shows under your belt, including like Jassi Jaisi Koi Nahi, CID, Namkaran, Diya Aur Bati, so many web shows, Made in Heaven. I mean, I could just go on and on, right? But most importantly, the fun fact here, guys, hold your breath. Manini is the voice of Raquel in the Hindi version of Money Heist. And
And what
now,
a perfect match, I have to say.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you
well
so much.
done.
Thank you.
super, super, so happy to hear that. And also, the voice of Maureen Sadai in The Wheel of Time, which is just launched on Amazon Prime Video. So these are two very, very, very major roles in two very, very major shows. And Manini, I don't know if you saw, but for the first time, these two very shows that you are such an important part of, for the first time, I'm seeing that these are the first two shows on OTT which have been publicized saying English, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu.
Yes.
I'm seeing
Yes.
posters saying
Yes.
English, Hindi, Tamil, Telugu, and I'm saying, yes, we have
Yes.
arrived
Yes.
finally. I had tears in my eyes when I saw those hoardings, I was like,
Oh my
yes,
God.
finally. 30 साल मेहनत करके finally कुछ मिला है recognition that every
Totally.
finally the makers are feeling it important to talk about the fact that it is available in different languages. And why do you think that hasn't happened yet, Ashwini?
I don't know whether I should get into details of that, but I have to tell you, this is just the beginning. Trust me. We are here. I think those tears of joy are completely valid. I understand where you come from and how it feels, because again, I think everybody in this industry, everybody I've met in the dubbing space has been so passionate. That
Yeah.
passion is just exuberant when you meet people, and I feel when I speak to colleagues, when I speak to artists about how, okay, we've been doing this for so many years. Obviously there's very little face time for a lot, but if you look at it today, I think so many of our artists are so popular on social media. I'd say thanks to social media, they have their own following. Manini, one of them, of course. When we launched the trailer, I remember the Hindi trailer of Red Notice. I was amazed to see, very happy and amazed to see comments where people have written stuff like, "Oh, Sanket Matre sounds better than Ryan Reynolds himself," and stuff like that. So I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, is this for real? So I don't
Sanket,
know about why. Yeah, I don't know why it's not happened as yet, but I have to say we are here. This is the beginning, and it's only going to get better. That's all I can promise you from this side of things.
so Manini, coming back to you, talking about the artist who really brings the art to life. How have you found this transition and this dual life now that you're leading between being an actor and being a voice actor? And how do you see this play out in your life? And how do you see this affect you, or the kind of feedback that you've been getting, a for your acting and secondly for your dubbing? Where do you see this? How do you see this aspect of your life?
Okay. Firstly, thank you so much, ladies. It's an honor to be on a panel with such amazing, kick-ass, amazing in every sense of the word, and it's an honor to be here. So, good evening. Hi. Thank you, Mona. So, Mona is my voice angel. Hi. Her mom was my mentor. So I call her my voice angel. That's how her name is being saved. Honest to God, I genuinely feel that dubbing as an art form is inclusive because we actually speak to you in your language, and it contextually as well as linguistically, we want to see so many things, but because of the language barrier, we miss out on those gems. you know. And now that we have various languages that we are dubbing in, as Rajshri rightly said, we are more inclusive now. And also, everybody has a different sense of humor in every state, in every culture. And when you use those catchphrases, people connect very fast. So I had somebody who saw it in Hindi who usually wouldn't, and turned around and said, "Oh my God, it was so well done." I said, "What was well done?" He said, "The writing was so good. The artists were so good." So, earlier, I think when we were growing up, dubbing per se, we weren't very aware. So I come from Delhi, and when I saw dubbed films, I couldn't understand is are they able to maintain the integrity of the content that is being made, because their context is different. But over a period of time, it is an industry which is working on itself and excelling, and I mean outdoing itself in terms of the kind of writing, the kind of artist, the kind of technology, the kind of approach. It is absolutely one of the most beautiful professions to get into. And as regards me being an actor and a voice actor, I would think every actor should definitely learn how to dub. It should be an integral part of every actor's journey, because voice is a very important part of who a person is. And an actor's arsenal consists of voice, body, eyes, whatever else, but voice primarily, right? So I think it should be made mandatory at every acting institute that they need to understand how important voicing is. So I would say I have to thank your mother, Leela Di, and I have to thank Mona and all of you for giving me this opportunity of actually, you know, not being on screen, but being the voice and the soul of that character. And as an actor, you don't know what it means to me. I always tell Mona this. I said, the minute I get into a studio, that is the safest space for me. It feels like going into my mother's womb again. And I swear to the Lord that there are times when I feel, even if I'm not recording, I just want to go sit there because it's such a beautiful, amazing space to be in. So it's an honor to be an artist and a voice artist. And I think I'm just so grateful that I'm getting to do amazing work. And I have such amazing people who are guiding me, constantly giving me feedback and co creating with me. I think I can't ask for anything more. Thank you so much.
It's interesting that you should talk about awareness, and this is a very important thing because obviously this awareness wasn't there even when when the big feature films would get released. Yes, there would be some mention of language versions, but those that promotion would be particularly in those states wherever it
Yeah.
was being released. Unfortunately, there was never really because promoting stuff in print and hoardings and etc. Otherwise, physical promotions were always so expensive that probably not enough money could go into those promotions for dubbed content. So therefore there was a lack of awareness. But and even when we started dubbing for OTT, our constant request to our clients would be, please inform your viewers that there is a language option. Please inform your viewers that this is available to them in different languages. Please inform your viewers how they are to switch and how they are to select that option. you know if you say something isn't working, that part of that is the lack of the awareness, right? So Ashwini, do you see that now all of this publicity and things that are happening around the dubbed languages also is coming from a space where you're seeing that really contributing to revenue, to viewership, etc., over the years?
Absolutely. I think if I were to give you just some numbers, I think from 2012, we have seen about a 27% year on year growth on availability of dubs on Netflix specifically. And there is a 120% growth of consumption of languages. Give
Wow.
you an example of Squid Game, made in Korea, watched by the world. 97% of people actually watched it in a language other than Korean. 95% of people watched Squid Game in outside of Korea, not in Korea. So, I
In
mean,
a language
these
of
are
their
the numbers,
choice.
right? When you talk about in a language of their choice. And we dubbed Squid Game in what, 13 languages. We subtitled it in 31 languages. And then once it became a bigger hit, we started adding more languages.
Right.
So I think it also is availability. Awareness is one thing, but because OTT has, again, itself as a platform breaks barriers, right? You could be sitting in the comfort of your home and watching the most amazing content. And then obviously then it comes to people like us, where we're thinking, okay, what are the right languages to dub this in? And that's where we can go all out. And once we see these encouraging numbers, there is really no reason why we would not go out there and tell people, hey, this is available in your language, go watch it. you know so yeah, I mean, these are insane numbers. What is 97%? Almost everybody has watched that show in a in a dubbed language or dub of their choice. And if I were to give you a comparison between subs and dubs, more people watch Squid Games in the dubbed version than with subtitles only. So,
Wow.
I think these are encouraging numbers. These are facts that are really helping us. make these business decisions. And it's not just us now saying, hey, dubbing is important. It is really everybody. Or I can speak for all OTTs, having been part of at least two of the major ones. Everybody realizes the importance. So really, there's no stopping. And I also want to say that so much of your contribution, everybody in this virtual room, I'm sure, has put in, a little bit of their heart and souls in doing whatever you've been doing. The consistency is also important. And if I were to speak from a Netflix perspective specifically, because Netflix is specifically known for creating fan bases, right? It's not about Netflix, it's about that show, it's about the fandom for that show. What we believe here is that we want to retain creators' intent. We've all spent a little more, maybe I spent a little more than a decade in the dubbing space, where earlier it was more about translations, then it slowly became transcreation. Where it was, oh, but this is not relevant humor, this is American humor, how do we Indianize it? And today the way we approach dubbing, especially in Netflix, is what was the creator's intent? Why did he make the show? Look at the K-pop fans, look at K-drama fans. When I interact with them and I speak to them, they haven't even some of them haven't even been to Korea, but they know everything about the culture, the food, how they address each other, and they're like, oh, I want to go to Korea because I want to see where this guy eats and how do they, what is this seju or whatever they drink.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I mean, think about it, right? This is what is bringing everybody together. And again, coming back to my personal dream or whatever, if it coming to dubbing, I feel like we need to make dubbing very non something that doesn't distract you.
Right.
Correct.
It's you're watching
Yeah.
this content, you're watching it in a language, in some language. As long as it doesn't distract you, it's fine. I know that we are a very long way to go from where somebody's going to come and say, what a fab dub. We, of course, it happens, but maybe very rarely. But the minute things go a little here and there, they start distracting you. People are very quick to say, oh, this was not a good dub or whatever. So I think that's the effort. We are constantly taking feedback, constantly learning. And I think these fan bases, this craze for shows, and these numbers, yeah, 97%. I can't quote anything more. Like everybody's watching a dub language. So I think that's what I'd love to even, this is testimonial for everybody here, that what you've done, what you've been doing, what you are working on today is going to be watched somewhere in the world. And you have no idea in what corners of the world people are watching.
Yeah.
Tell me about it. My kids keep coming and asking me, do you know what this word means? Do you know what that word means? And it's all Korean. I'm like,
Exactly.
why should I know what it means? But yeah, fun fact.
Exactly.
Don't they ask you what do you do there, mom, the whole day? You don't know this.
Yeah, how come you haven't learned Korean
You
after
haven't
dubbing?
learned any Korean.
Exactly. After dubbing so many Korean shows, how come you've still not learned Korean? But it's very similar to what happened with Japanese anime, right?
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
was a niche fan base. Today, Korean K drama fans, it's just exploded. But we saw that in some form when it was Japanese anime and that community and that fan base. You guys have a session coming up on Dragon Ball Z. So
Yes,
20
yes,
years later, I don't know how many years later. Fabulous, no?
yes. You were
You
around
know,
when we did that, Ashwini.
Yes, I did. That was one of my first shows. And I was like, okay, it's already episode 250. What have we been doing? Like, who's making these shows?
yeah,
So,
I
yeah.
believe there's a crazy number. There's like thousands of them.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
So yeah, Ashwini, you mentioned about how the goal is that a dubbed show should not be distracting. Now, this is exactly, I think, what Rajshri and I do is every day figure out how to make it more seamless, how to make it gel better, how to make it less distracting. So, Rajshri, let's talk about the art and science of it a little bit. Obviously, you've seen over the years the focus changing. It's not only about who can give the cheapest dub anymore. It's about who can do a better quality dub. And that's across the board, whether it's writers, whether it's actors, whether it's the technical crew, the sound engineers, the mix engineers, the dubbing director has become of prime importance. A lot of shows back in the day used to be dubbed without a dubbing director, you know. So talk about the importance of the dubbing director and the whole art and science of dubbing. What really goes into it?
So importance of the dubbing director, of course, yes. I always maintain that, that particular post, that particular chair, it's a thankless job altogether. So if I ask anyone today, do you want to be a dubbing director? They'll say outright, no, no, no. We're not interested in being a dubbing director. I want to be a dubbing artist, not a dubbing director. So, that is something which that needs to change. People need to really start respecting that chair more, because it's very important. The whole process is handled by the dubbing director from start to end, especially. You
Yep.
may call them here, probably they'll double up as a project manager also sometimes, and sometimes as purely a dubbing director. However, the thing is, let's talk more about the process, I think, that Mona just mentioned, the way what goes into creating a dub. Right from the time we watch the video, we start thinking, because it's become a part of the process. The whole my life entirely now is about dubbing. So whenever I watch something, even if I haven't done it, if I'm watching something in English, I'll be suddenly thinking, oh, who will play this character if it comes to us in Hindi? Who will play this if it comes to us in Tamil?
Hazard of the
So
job.
sometimes you just tell yourself, okay, okay, you're just watching the show. You're just watching the show. You're not going to think about anything. You're just going to watch the show. Just enjoy the show. So the whole
Hmm.
thing is, the thinking begins from the time you start watching the video with the team that is going to handle the whole process, the whole project. You start casting. Then you go through auditions, you go through scripting. So the whole process begins there. The way it is scripted, the way you'd like to translate facts, the way you'd like to translate jokes. So, and then it comes to the dubbing table. And then sometimes, when you have a script ready and you get into the dubbing process, you realize you can't actually use the line which you thought at the scripting table, because you have to change the entire thing. The pauses aren't matching, or maybe the artist isn't comfortable. So then suddenly you do end up doing the whole process again. So it's an ongoing thing till it leaves your studio, till you're satisfied that it's uploaded and it's gone. It's You're still working on it, you're continuously working on it. And then we have feedback, of course, from the channel. We have feedback from Ashwini sometimes. So
I'm
feedback
so
generally
sorry you've been at the receiving end of that, but yeah.
I'm just putting it again. So feedback generally doesn't mean negative.
Well,
It's sometimes a lot of
it's a
praise.
job. At least it's a job. Imagine the number of people who know better. It's
Mm.
when it's not even
Yes.
their job. Everybody knows better how to do our job till they actually have
we'll
to
have
do it.
we'll have a lot of people suggesting, and sometimes when even just having informal conversations, people will come up with the line and say, this is not how it should have been translated. This is how it should have been done. And you're thinking, yes, but there were other technical difficulties because of which we couldn't do it. So yes, there are a lot of people giving you advice, random advice, but that's okay. But coming back to feedback, it's not always negative. It's also praise, it's appreciation. And I'm sure on the other side, you also know how hard it is to get this thing done. And thank you for all the feedback. So, well, yes. So, as coming back to the whole process. So, until it's done, it's gone, it's on air. It's a journey that we get into, from watching, from casting, scripting, dubbing, mixing. And sometimes when it gets into the mixing stage, we realize, no, the delay, the reverbs aren't working better on this line. So you need to go back and redo the line with a stress on a particular word. If it's a thriller, it's a horror, you have to emphasize a particular word for the effect to come out better. Then, again, you get into recording, you change that particular line, you come back. So it's a journey, I'd say. And it's an amazing journey that we all are a part of. And yeah, so it's lovely to be here, to be doing this.
Yes, it is lovely to be here and doing this, and we it couldn't be a better time also to be doing this. We're really at the at the really at the crux of the movement growing now. So I think it's a beautiful time for all of us to learn, to grow, and to really expand our horizons, our skills, our services, all of that. But talking of praise and appreciation, Manini, how much of that do you see on social media? Ashwini was also saying that social media is a big contributor to the popularity of dub shows. And have you been experiencing a lot of that?
A lot, a lot. In fact, I went into a pharmacy. I went into a pharmacy and I had my mask on. I must have asked, "Ye, do you have this medicine?" And suddenly I had two people turn and say, Lisbon? I didn't know what to look. I was like, huh? And they've been watching Money Heist and they're like, Ola Lisbon? And I'm like, oh, Ola, hi. And then they were like, can you say a dialogue? So up till now, it's always been from a film that I've done or from a OTT thing that I've done or the series that I've done. They say, ma'am, एक बार dialogue बोल के बताइए ना. I was so pleasantly surprised and thrilled when they said, "Ma'am, आप बोल के बताओ ना, please. आप रकेल हो ना?" I'm like, huh? Suddenly you're thinking something else like, Ola Lisbon. And you're like, hello. And you don't register. And I was like, you're watching it. He's like, ma'am, I mean, every day I hear you. So I was like, thank you so much. He's like, मेरे को इंग्लिश नहीं समझ में आती और ना मुझे स्पेनिश समझ में आती है मैं तो हिंदी में ही देख रहा हूँ और मुझे बहुत मजा आ रहा है Spanish तो हमारी तरह होते हैं. So I've been getting feedback from various kinds of people who never watch shows in Hindi. They are watching it. Friends of mine who've told other friends, and who are discovering that Hindi is also an option. And just that everybody around has become so aware that on my Instagram I get messages. Hi Raquel, how are you? How is the professor? I'm like, I don't know. Can you tell us what's how does it end? Are you married? Cool. So Raquel, are you married? What's happening here? So it's great fun and it's wonderful because there are lots of new actors that I work with and they were amazed to understand that this is the kind of fan following we have. That अच्छा Raquel अभी next में क्या करेगी? अच्छा वो शादी कर लेगी क्या प्रोफेसर के साथ? And I'm like, I find these questions so sweet actually. So these younger actors now are understanding the importance and the largeness of the new dubbing scenario, so to say. And when I talk to them about it, they're like, "What? Like there's something like this?" I mean, they're unaware, but that doesn't make them stupid. It's just they don't have the knowledge. And so many of them have asked me to take them to a dubbing studio and introduce them. So it's
Yeah,
my
do you find
life's mission.
that?
So,
Sorry,
yeah.
finish.
No, I'm saying it's my life's mission to get as many talented people into the dubbing studios and get more talent. Apart from that, get better actors, for God's sake, really, who at least enunciate better, pronounce their pronunciation. And also, I have to say one thing that I think Money Heist, the kind of attention that it has given me in terms of the dubbing, many people didn't know I'm a dubbing artist too, has been exponential. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't thank you guys for this. The kind of love that one is getting is unprecedented. Absolutely.
Can
That's
I say
amazing.
also thank you for being part of this?
Thank
Two
you.
of you on the screen have been part of it. So
Yeah, and thank you for living and breathing life into Raquel in Hindi. I mean, it's not easy to get under the skin of another person. Being an actor yourself, an on-screen actor, where you have your own personality, your own method of acting, your own cadence, your own way of speaking. To break out of that and to fall into someone to get into somebody else's shoes, to literally get under their skin and follow their body language and their rhythm and their way of expressing themselves, and that too in an alien language. I know all of you have been dubbing Spanish telenovelas with the Spanish language in your headphones, not an English guide.
No, no.
So you half the time you don't know what they're saying or what's happening, and you just have to go with the flow of the feeling and the emotion and the performance. So I think this is really bringing out the actor in you. Like it's going deep inside and pulling out, you know, everything that you've got.
Everything. In fact, I must share something quickly, which is that thanks to Money Heist, which was not watched by me during the lockdown. So I've started studying Spanish thanks to that. And
Oh, many people
I,
have. Many people
yeah,
have.
absolutely, because I'm in love with the language. And I have to tell you, as a woman, when I was connecting with Raquel as a character, I have a process to connect with the character. There was one day when I broke down, and there was this particular scene where she's telling the professor that, don't mess with me. I have a child. If they get to know I'm involved with somebody else, they'll take my child away. I don't know what it was about that scene, but I had to step out of the studio. As a woman, I just felt her pain so much. It was an empathic reaction to her. So I have lived Raquel throughout this 1.5 years. I've lived Raquel's life. I started dressing like her. I started feeling like her. And I have to say, the day I had to say goodbye to her, it was a bit of a thing because my entire team said, "We're going to miss you." And I said, "I'm going to miss you guys and I'm going to miss Raquel." So yeah, one gets entangled or enmeshed because as actors we actually get into people's psyches and come out. And as you rightly said, and thank you for recognizing that, when it's a foreign language, their body language, their cultural um, uh, cues are different from ours. So to embrace that and to suddenly have that come into your body is a very mystical process. And I'm telling you, it is crazy. The minute you come out of the studio, you're like, what just happened? Did somebody just take over? And now that person has gone into, a hiding space. But yeah, thank you so much.
It's a
It's a
mystery, na?
challenge.
It's a mystery even to us
Very
as
mystical.
performers, I think.
Yes.
Very mystical process.
Sometimes you even
Really.
end up picking up a few things, maybe the
I have,
or
I
the
have.
expression or the
Yeah.
way you would react to something, you kind of it comes into you and then you'll be like, oh, I'm all this
I
now.
I started blushing one day, okay? When the professor is speaking to her on the phone, I actually started blushing, and my dubbing director came inside the studio to see my face. I was all red. And he said, "Never seen you like this." I said, "This is so beautiful. I'm living it completely." So
Do you
it's
find
great.
that more and more actors are recognizing this as a different skill set, which is perhaps more difficult than just being playing a character that you have completely designed on screen, which is you can play it any which way you like. You have complete freedom. Whereas here, within so many limitations, you have to bring that character to life. So do you find that a lot of actors recognize this as a skill, as a very different and a very difficult skill that they need, and secondly, as a skill that many actors may not actually have at all and can't really adapt to?
Yeah, yes, I have. And in fact, they look at me and they're like, "How do you do it?" So my answer to that is you need to be versatile. You need to be open and adaptable, and you need to have a different skill set for this. The amount of patience that one requires, the amount of attention to detail that is required. And I think you need to be a good team player. I've realized. So I tell all the new actors or whoever my colleagues are that it's a different skill set. It's not acting. It's way more complicated than acting. Way more. Your face is not here. Your face can help you on screen. अरे आपका आईलाइनर बहुत सुंदर था लेकिन मेरा आईलाइनर नहीं है इधर अभी खाली मेरी आवाज है इधर ये मैं हूँ मेरे इमोशंस हैं how can I do justice to somebody else who doesn't look like me and I have to sound like her I have to do justice I can't spoil her acting I can't make her look bad I have to make her look better
And
and
you can't
enhance her
deviate.
no I can't I have to be her. So I've always told actors, please be more adaptable, more open. So my one line to everybody is go into a studio like water. Just go in and let them mold you the way they want to mold you. Be open,
Absolutely.
be adaptable. And that's when the
Absolutely.
magic happens. That's when if you go in with a set of rules in your head, मैं तो ऐसे ही करूंगी, मैं तो ऐसे ही सोच के आई हूँ, it's not going to work. Here they will
Yes.
shred you to pieces and they say, नहीं मैडम ये जो लाइन आपको बहुत अच्छी लग रही है, बहुत बकवास है इसको फिर से करें. I think it also levels you. You know, कि, please अपने को ज्यादा फन्ने खा समझने की जरूरत. There are times when we do a line very well, and suddenly QC में वो निकल के आती है. यही वाली लाइन क्यों आई मैंने इतनी मेहनत की थी. But that's the adaptability, that's the beauty. That जरूरी नहीं आपको लग रहा है आप कोई बड़े, आप वो दीजिए जो उनको चाहिए, आप वो मत
It's
करिए
also the
जो
acceptance of critique.
very open. I remember Mona was doing a film with me once, and in 11 hours, I think we finished, and she looks at me and she says, "You don't get angry. I've never met anybody who doesn't get irritated or angry." Like, no, I don't. I don't, because I'm learning every minute. So
Excellent. That's
it's
excellent.
open mindset has to be there. In fact, Rajshri, I'm working with her, and I was telling her we laugh so much. I have to tell you, Mona, that Rajshri, when she laughs, she reminds me so much of your mum. If I shut my eyes, I think it's Leela Di
Yeah, I
standing in front
know.
of me.
She said
I
that, and it
told
was an
her.
absolute honor. My God. She said, you just sound like her.
Oh
She
my
just,
gosh.
so
How
I think
lovely is
it's
that?
an amazing, yes, it's an amazing
You
profession
made
to
my day,
embrace.
my life.
It's, I think it's more and more people should come into this. And gone are the days when the dubs were really, in our childhood, we saw some dubs which were funny. Okay, let's be honest. I'm going to be honest and tell you, I used to laugh, right? But now,
Yeah.
where we are is mind. And I'm waiting for the day the Spanish team actually sends us an email saying, you know what, you guys were as good as we were. I'm waiting for that. And it will come. It will come.
Absolutely. Absolutely, it will come. So, Rajshri, as a dubbing director, what are the skill sets that you look for? Manini was talking about, we were talking
So,
about the special skill set that artists need to be a part of our industry and to be a part of this beautiful different form of storytelling. What are the skill sets you look for in
so like
newcomers?
Manini rightly said, you also mentioned, you live the character, you live the performance, the way she talks, the way she walks. You try to emulate every moment that the actor performs. As a dubbing director, probably we are performing for every character in the movie. So whether it's irrespective of the gender, whether it's a male, it's a female, you try to get into the skin of that particular character and think how and why he'd say this particular line. And sometimes there's also lip flap matching that is happening. So
Yeah.
you'd like to use a particular word, but there's a limitation. You can't use the word because then it'll appear out sync. So
Yeah.
sometimes the actor insists and says, nahi mujhe yahi bolna hai, and then you're like, please ye mat boliye because ye sync nahi hoga. So for us, sync is not just start and end; it's also matching lips, matching performance, and the tone of the voice. Sometimes, like I may be talking like this now, I can also speak like this, and it makes all the difference. And when you're sitting on the other side, you can actually imagine and convey it to the artist, saying, "Look, what you're doing is really nice, but I think this is how it'll sound much better. If you lower your pitch, the way you talk." So I think I have performed more as a director than as an artist because I've performed many characters, many characters which otherwise I'd have never voiced, owing to the gender or the voice match. But every time when I look at a particular character, I think, oh, this person will do it. If Manini is going to do it, why will she do it? Because she has the voice quality, she has the texture, and then she has a particular way of saying it, and which will gel with this character. Or if Sanket is going to play a particular role, why will he do it? Because I know he can pull it off well, and he'll really add value to the performer. So, as Ashwini said, it's about retelling stories, maintaining
Intent.
creators' value in intent, creators' intent.
Yeah.
So, sometimes we really want to change an entire thing. There are certain Spanish phrases, there are certain things which are very alien to our culture, our industry. But then we think why the maker has kept it. So, how can we bring it to our audience without changing the creator's intent, but still putting it forth to our audience, telling them, this is what it means actually. And sometimes it's done through voice, sometimes it's done through script. A lot of things go into it. So, as a dubbing director, I think I've performed more in these last few years than I have as an artist, I think. And I've dealt with a lot of people. And it's very interesting how each person brings his own psyche, his own perspective to a particular character, comes with a perception, a thought, and then we talk, we look at the character biodata. Yeah, there's something known as a character bio, wherein why the particular character was designed, how he talks, why he talks, and why he'll do what he does in the movie. So you read it and then you get into his mind and you think, oh, this is how this particular person performs and this is how he thinks, what he does. And so sometimes when an actor wants to perform differently, you kind of tell him, no, don't do that, because this won't match the personality of the role. This won't match the director's thought process, the way he has built the character. So I really think we should not say these lines. We should use some other lines. And then, of course, there are creative discussions with the channel because they know more about the product than probably we know before it comes to us.
Yes.
So yes. So that helps when we talk to people, and they make us understand about what they are looking at, and then how to achieve that particular goal. This objective. Okay, this is how you want this character to sound or talk. And sometimes there are animated roles wherein they'll ask us to. They'll say, "You do anything you like to make this person sound funny." It could be anything. He could sound like Johnny Liver. He could sound like Shakti Kapoor. He could sound like anyone, but she has to sound funny. So that's another a different than a different thought process. Mostly animation. So
And
then
how do you sorry, I'm just trying to move on because we're going to run out of time, but how do you find it different dealing with original version actors versus voice people who are only voice actors, primarily voice actors?
so when an original actor comes to the studio, the original actor performs in a different way. So the original actor adds a little bit of himself into that particular character. He acts out the role, is what I feel. The way they'll talk, sometimes when dubbing actor talks, the voice actor talks, who's a pure dubbing artist, sometimes it might sound overdone or animated because they're so much into the process, so much into pauses, and so much into the way they talk technically that sometimes it sounds dubbed. Whereas when there's an original actor talking or performing, it's an entirely different thing. Because I've seen the way they approach the character is completely different. They want to understand how he would probably look, his expressions, his eyes, his hands, the way he walks. And they'd say, जब वो ऐसा चल रहा है तो वो इतनी जोर से नहीं बोलेगा. This is how he'd say. So that is something which is different. That separates the actor from the voice actor. It's less methodical, I feel. It's more creative, it's more artistic. That
Less
is something
technical.
Yes, absolutely. Less technical. If you go with a voice artist, he'll give you good sync, he'll give you good pauses, he'll give you whatever comes best when he's listening to the pilot, be it in any language, English, Spanish, Turkish.
Even great expressions, and they'll do it in great time, so quickly.
Absolutely. Yes. That you can't do.
So everything has its pros and cons, right? I mean, a lot of voice actors feel that why aren't more voice actors being used now? Voice actors are losing out on work because a lot of the original actors are doing dubs, etc. But it's also important to know that what the original actor can bring to his own self. Obviously, that's completely different from what a voice actor brings to it, and both have their positives and negatives.
Yes,
So,
you dealt with that a lot, I'm sure, Mona. Yeah.
huh?
I said you've
Sorry?
dealt with that a lot, and you work with, the array of actors that you work with. It's like, it's like a sea, I'd say, an ocean. So
Yeah.
But
It
can
is.
I say
It is.
something a little about that? Sorry. I think eventually it just boils down to authenticity. There are
Yeah.
times when maybe the original actor doesn't work really in another language, and we're in a country like India where I think each one of us speaks a minimum of two languages at least. And when we talk about reaching out to the original actors, it's always authenticity first. If this is going to make it sound more authentic and make the audience connect better with the product, with the final output, why not? So there's really no hard and fast rule. It's very interesting to know your side of how it is to work with the actors. But I think the key word for us when we look at it from a slightly more step back kind of space, it's just authenticity. It's really not about, oh, is the original artist dubbing, or is this a voice artist? Not at all. So, and again, like Manini described her process of connecting with that character, she is speaking Spanish, probably a language that you didn't even understand then. Now you started learning it. You connected with her because I think emotions are universal. This joy and grief and laughter, you're going to feel all of that together. So it's just authenticity at the end of the day. And I think the connection with Raquel just comes out there. That's why it becomes so authentic.
So, Ashwini, while you're dubbing so many of these foreign shows into Indian languages, you're also dubbing a lot of Indian shows, and Netflix has been the pathbreaker in that sense with Sacred Games, dubbing the first big Indian show into English and globalizing it as opposed to localizing it. So, and that has really broken barriers of a new kind and really put us on the map in terms of the content we produce. It has brought the spotlight on India in terms of the kind of production quality we have, or the kind of content we are able to put out there, and in a language that is suitable to a lot more people. So, what are the successes you've seen on that front?
Oh, well, a lot. You named Sacred Games. Again, I don't know. I keep going back to Squid Game, the Squid Game and Money Heist, because it's exactly that. You never know when a story will resonate where. One of the recent successes I can talk about is probably Haseen Dilruba. Let me tell you which countries it was actually watched in. I was surprised to know that it was actually watched in 22 countries, including Brazil, Argentina, UAE, Malaysia, Australia, and UK. So we've actually seen
Wow.
people watching it from these countries. Brazil and Argentina, like, wow,
In
people are
their
watching it
languages.
in their language, yeah, in Spanish and Portuguese. That's what we dubbed Haseen Dilruba. And then there was also Jagame, which did extremely well globally for us. So it's, I think, the star power of South films. Navrasa did very well, again, in countries outside of India. So yeah, I mean, nothing's stopping us. Honestly, it's that authenticity, and thanks to all of you for recognizing and coming on board with our vision of maintaining creators' intent. Because creativity is not always about what can I do with this, how can I make this different, or how can I make it mine. It's more about how can I just translate this emotion in a language that everybody gets, or in this language. So it's completely, I think, credit to everybody in this room and virtually watching us today, who's contributed. I cannot say that enough, trust me, because just having everybody on board to understand that we are here to tell the same story, just in a different language. That's it.
So, in
Is
that
incredible.
sense,
And these names. Hmm.
sorry,
Go
finish.
ahead.
Go
No,
ahead, you
no, no. I
finish.
was just saying these names like Haseen Dilruba. These are like really niche films, but they're being watched across the world. So again, you never know. I think just us treating every film as you never know, or every show as when we're working on it, and say you never know where it's going to be watched, or आज season 1 है, but 4 साल बाद we might be in season 5, and it might be another Money Heist, or it might just be a Squid Game where it just takes over the world in season 1. So yeah, you never know. It's just the
And in
beginning.
that
That's all I
sense,
can
do
tell.
you find that globalization and localization are becoming almost one and the same?
I don't know what that means. I mean, I'm not sure
In
what
the sense that
that
we
means.
are, we are, we are now pretty much every product, whether you are localizing for your country or whether you're globalizing for the world, every
Hmm.
product
Hmm.
is basically you want to just take it and offer it to as many people as
Yeah,
possible. And
absolutely.
you're finding more and more reach through that. And people are also able to have access to a lot more content than their own country can possibly produce, only in
Yeah,
their
it's a
language.
story. It's a story. It's going to connect with everybody everywhere. So yeah, again, this is so aptly named, breaking the language barrier. That's all it is. And like there was that quote, right, of if you get past that 1 inch barrier of subtitles, you will have access to so many more films. I think we are in a space way beyond that, where if you get past that small block in your head of, oh, this is dubbed content, you have access to like a unlimited this thing of content, library of content.
Okay, and now that we have just 5 minutes left, I'm going to do a quick round, a rapid fire round with some fun facts, both about the dubbing world as well as about the three of you. So, yeah, just to end this on a fun note. So, Ashwini, you're not allowed to say, but Manini and Rajshri, tell me which are the top 10 shows on Netflix currently?
Top 10. 1 second. Money Heist.
Uh,
Never Have I Ever. One
uh,
second. I
Red
can't
Notice.
remember.
Then there is oh God, this is hard.
Is it Outlander?
Oh, there's Squid
Outlander?
Game. There is Squid Game.
Squid Games, Outlander.
Yes.
Um,
Okay,
Can't
stop. You
remember.
guys got only three of those right.
okay.
These three. At
Three
least
out
three.
of 10. That's terrible. Start watching Netflix for a change.
No, start
But
following
you have
the
to be
trend.
specific. You mean top 10 in India, right?
Top 10 in India. Top 10 in
Yeah.
India. And because, when we switch on our service, that's the top 10 that we see, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So,
Correct.
coming to my next question, again, those who know the facts, please don't answer. The others may answer. Which movie got the biggest opening on OTT worldwide?
Oh God, why is this so hard? Which movie?
I love that I made it hard.
This you only have to tell us.
Jungle Book.
Red Notice, Ashwini. It got the
Oh,
biggest.
really? Whoa! You got me.
Okay, who dubbed for the professor in Money Heist?
Ashwin Mushan.
Okay, I said those who know the facts are not
Oh,
supposed to say.
Okay, I thought we were not supposed.
Anyway,
What did you
yes,
say?
kudos to Ashwin. He couldn't join us today, but we really wanted him to have him with us. But he's done a fabulous job. Who dubbed for Akshay Kumar in the English version of Suryavanshi?
Oh, we're really bad at this. No idea.
Ganesh Divekar,
Woo!
and he matched it so well.
Yeah.
Match
Wow.
voice, huh? Very well. Yeah, very well matched. voice.
Amazing match.
Wow.
Who are the voices behind the main star cast of Red Notice?
I know one of them, Shagufta.
No. Shagufta, yes,
Okay.
that is the fourth, but the top three, Ryan Reynolds, Dwayne Johnson, and Gal Gadot.
Can I say or no?
You can say. Since they're
There's
thinking
Rajesh
so hard, you
Khattar.
might as well say.
Yeah. Rajesh Khattar, Sanket, of course, I said it in the beginning.
Sangeet,
Sanket.
yeah.
And
None of them were listening to you, by the way, when you were speaking because they didn't catch on.
No, no.
exactly. Oh, and tell me who did Gal Gadot?
Neha
say.
Bhargava.
Oh, Neha Bhargava. Okay.
Yeah, who was also the voice of Nala in The Lion
Nala in
King,
Lion King.
Lion
Yes.
King.
opposite Aryan Khan. What a fabulous job she did there. Now, what is the theme of Squid Game? Quick, we're running out of time.
The theme of Squid Game is okay.
Can I say?
What to what lengths can you go?
Yeah.
Say, Ashwini. Say.
Survival of the like.
Or the fittest.
Yeah.
Whoever.
I don't know whether
Yeah.
it's fit-
Yeah.
but
What do all
what
the
is it?
players have in common?
They're all in debt.
Agony, misery.
Misery. Yeah. Poor.
Debt, huh?
What is the title of the Italian protest song which is played throughout Money Heist?
Italian protest song. It's
You got to
Bella
get
Ciao.
this one.
You mean The Bella Ciao, this thing.
Bella Ciao.
Correct.
It is
Correct.
Bella Ciao.
Ah,
Because you call it Italian protest song, it just sounds
Yeah,
like.
yeah.
We are
I
like,
had to throw you.
we are making videos where people are doing like full Ganpati dance on
On
Bella
Bella
Ciao.
Ciao. I've seen.
Indian version. And then obviously nobody's going to connect when you say Italian protest.
Yeah.
But good,
Yeah.
good one, Mona. Very
Good
nice
one.
question.
Thanks for throwing us
Thank you,
off.
girls. Thank you for making this so fun. And I would have liked to carry on because I have some fun facts. I have some real dope on the three of you. But I guess we'll have to leave that for another time.
I'm
Thank
glad
you
we
all
don't
for
have
being
time.
here. Thank you for making this
Thank you.
conversation so fun, so informative. And that was the point of the rapid fire, really, to also put some information out there that people may not know. But we've run out of time, so I have to say, Bella ciao.
Ciao.
thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank
So
you.
happy to be part of this frame. Honored.
Yeah.
Yes. Honored. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you
Seriously,
so
I'm
much.
so happy myself. I mean, I'm really, really proud to be part of a session with the three of you, all stars in your own right. And let's keep breaking those barriers.
Absolutely.
Yes,
India
breaking
Voice
barriers.
Fest. Yes.
More power
Yes.
to us.
Rocks.
Thank you.
Absolutely rocks. Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
ladies.
guys.
Thank you.